Hello and welcome everyone. This is English in the Pocket podcast number 2. I am Tiago Das, your host in this learning adventure. Hello and welcome everyone. This is English in the Pocket podcast number 2. I am Tiago Das, your host in this learning adventure. Just relax and enjoy the world you are about to enter. Let me start giving thanks for your lovely feedback on the podcast number 1, which was launched last week. I'm very pleased to hear from you and how helpful our WhatsApp group has been and how convenient this way of learning and practicing is, hence in the pocket. I'm also aware, though, that some people may be finding it a bit difficult to understand everything is being said here. And even those who do understand pretty much everything may also be asking themselves, is that enough to achieve fluency? Well, my friends, the plain and sincere answer is nope. But it is a great deal of the learning process. This is the best start you can have. Do you know why? Because it is direct to the point. I'd like to suggest you a few guidelines that will show you how you may use this podcast for your benefit. Okay, my first hint is listen again and again until you start recognizing something and the sound of the words start to become familiar to you. Number 2. Spot what you can recognize and repeat it mentally. Number 3. Then say it aloud until it sounds similar to what you can hear in the podcast. Number 4, record it in your phone. Number 5, listen back and compare to the podcast. Number 6, make corrections and record it again. Now, if you can already understand most of it, try this out. Do you enjoy a little bit of storytelling? So try to make a small summary of the podcast in your own words, or at least a section of it, and then record it on your phone, and then listen back. A little note: when I say spot what you recognize, I'm talking about the sounds of the words, the intonation, the melody of the sentence, even if you don't fully understand the words and their meaning. The most important thing of a spoken language, and forgive me for stating the obvious, it's how it sounds. So if you are able to reproduce precisely the sounds that you can hear, you can already speak correctly. Isn't that amazing? Now, if you can just recognize the sound of separate words, that's great. Repeat the words silently, then say it aloud, and finally write it down. Don't worry about the spelling now, okay? Record yourself saying it a few times and then listen and compare to the podcast. Make corrections and record it again. Can you recognize a full sentence? That's even better. Are you able to repeat an entire paragraph? Wow, that's super. Well, folks, I hope these hints can give you some ideas of how to explore these podcasts. Good luck! Oops! Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, we're starting something new today, but since the podcast is new in itself, I presume it's all new around here. Sorry, are you new around here? Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Melodia, and I am Tiagi's alter ego, also known as his clown. But you know, call me Melodia and I'm cool with you, you know what I mean? Okay, so I was asked to interview someone here, and because this person is quite close related to Tiagi, he asked me if I could do the job. So here I am, being the interviewer for tonight's show. Cool, innit? Without further delays, I would like to welcome to the English in the Pocket podcast, Miss Maria Jones. Welcome, darling. You're looking great today.
Thanks.
You're most welcome. So please tell me, darling, where are you from?
I'm British.
What do you mean British?
Well, I was born in England.
Okay, so England people, are not they English?
Well, yes.
Okay, alright then.
But British is actually bigger than England.
I see what you mean. Like
British involves Scotland, Ireland, Wales.
There you
English
go.
is England.
Okay. Did you get that guy, folks? Okay, so she's British, but what part of Britain, or if I could say the Great Britain, were you born, in fact?
Outside of London, called Essex.
Essex, I see what you mean. Is it north, south, east, west?
It's actually, let me think about that. Northeast.
Northeast, I see. I think I've been there, with your friend Tiagi, you know? Okay, so how come your name is Maria and not Mary or Marlene or something like that?
I was given my name by my father, whose mother, my grandmother, is from India, and she was brought up by Catholic nuns in India, speaking English. So that's why my name was given Maria.
I see what you mean. Like, so you were named after your grandmother. Is that right?
No. Just her belief.
I see. Okay. You mean the Maria of Joseph from the Bible and the Christian stories?
That's right.
I can see that. I see. Very interesting. I hear that they speak Portuguese in Goa. Your grandmother spoke Portuguese.
No, I assume that she spoke Hindi, but she was taught very quickly to speak English. And when they moved to England, they carried on just speaking English so that they could mix into the culture of England better.
Okay, so tell us, Maria, how did you learn Portuguese?
Portuguese? Well, actually, I kind of absorbed it. Listening to him many times, speaking Portuguese, but not really understanding words, but somehow energetically understanding what he was talking about. I could never speak Portuguese until we came to Brazil, and I started much more being able to understand Portuguese and speak a little bit more with children. We have 4 children. And I found that when people speak to kids, they slow down, they are very precise about what they want to communicate, just by listening and practicing with people.
I see. And what was the most difficult thing that you found to learn?
Actually, I think the most difficult thing I find is when you are trying to speak a new language, and people pretend that they understand you, and then you don't learn from your mistakes, so you can carry on speaking the same mistakes for a long time without even knowing that you sound completely wrong.
I see. I get you. I get what you mean. And what's the most helpful thing you found? You mentioned the children, speaking to children. I love children, I'm a clown.
Practice.
Mm-hmm.
And also what made it much easier was going beyond the fear of making the mistakes, of sounding silly. Just saying and speaking and trying to express yourself. Once you've gone beyond on your fears, you become to a next level of being able to just try and say anything that you want to say, whether people laugh at you or not. Just keep on practicing.
I'm quite used to that, I love, in fact, when people laugh at me, laugh for me, laugh with me. They just say, laugh, isn't it? Great. Okay, Maria Johns, that has been indeed a pleasure to talk to you.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you are trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but never quit. Life is here with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when he might have won if he had stuck it out. Stick to your task, though the pace seems slow, you may succeed with one more blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar, so stick to the fight when you were hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you mustn't quit. from the Book of Virtues.